you guys. This is a very safe space, and the whole point of this is for us to, create an opportunity where we can talk and we can have a conversation about scripts and talk about what you guys are going through. I have some people on here that are on the phone every day and making calls, like Keith, Al. They know their scripts, they know what to say, they know how to say it. But excuse me, I also recognize I have people on here who may have never picked up the phone and don't know how to do it and are kind of stuck here. And it's not the real estate script you need to learn. It's the script you need to learn to get out of your head, and change the way that you're talking to yourself about getting on the phone and getting after it. So I wanted to start off just by saying who I am. For those of you who don't really know me, my name is David Radney. I go by D-Rad, so just call me D-Rad. I'm a prospecting coach. I've been in real estate for 18 years. And the reason why I hold these script practices on Friday is because I remember, being in Houston, Texas, and Dallas, Texas, and needing to prospect to find business. And there was no one who could help me. Nobody in my market center was actually making the calls. So I had to learn from trial and error, just getting out there and getting hung up on and figuring out what to say and how to respond. So I know how tough that can be. And I also know that once I figured out what to say to, get on the phone with for sell by owners and expireds, I wasn't getting on the phone because I was not afraid of rejection. I was actually afraid of them saying yes, they would be interested in working with me, because I didn't know how to handle that opportunity. So I know what that's like. And I just want to be the coach that I needed. I want to be the mentor I needed when I started. So if I can help you guys in any way, this is what this call is for. This is a safe space. I don't expect you to be perfect here. I don't expect you to have all the answers, because if you had all the answers, you wouldn't be here, would you? So the whole point is, if I ask you, how you would handle the situation, give it your best shot. And if you don't know what to say, you can tap out and we'll help you. I can help you. Keith can help you. Al can help you. There are other people on here that know how to say what to say versus me. But yeah, that's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to just be open, just talk and share, and know that the whole point of this, the reason why we do this, the reason why I do this, is to help you level up and become a better real estate agent so you can get your unfair share. And in the light of what happened with this lawsuit, I think we can all, I'm not going to get into it, but I will say this: I think we all can see the advantages of being a listing agent. Our commission is protected. We are able to negotiate our commission and dictate what we get paid. And I would say, if any time, this is when you really need to be focused on what you do and what you say and how you say it. So with that being said, I want to start it off just by throwing this out to you guys and asking, what scripts, what objections, what mindset challenges do you currently have that are keeping you from getting on the phone? Anybody want to be brave and raise your hand and kind of talk to me about what you're thinking, so that we can have a conversation about it? Come on. Al, what's up?
Hey, hello, David. What I've had happen to me in the past few weeks is, um, they they've agreed to meet with me, and then when it comes close to the day of finally going to the appointment, they list with someone else,
Gotcha.
and this just happens too often. Um, so that's that's my biggest frustration at the moment.
Okay. All right. So I had a couple
So,
questions for you. And really quickly, I have people saying that they're in the waiting room, but I don't see. Keith, can I make you my co-host? I just want to make sure that I'm letting people in, because people are texting me like, hey, I'm in the waiting room, I can't get in, but I don't see anyone in the waiting room. So I'm a little confused by what's
David,
going on
David,
here. Yes.
David, I think it's because the link you sent on WhatsApp is for last week's script meeting.
Oh, did I send the wrong one? Oh,
I think so, yeah.
hold on one
tell
second.
him to go to your Instagram. That's how I got on.
You know what? Okay. Can you guys just give me 2 seconds? Because that's a boo-boo on my part.
Hey, Al, I just want to chime in. If that's happened consistently, are you scheduling them too far out?
That was my question. Good for you, man. That's it.
Right? Because like to me, not that you want to make yourself look like you're just sitting there waiting for an appointment, right? And like you don't have a schedule, but at the same time, if I have somebody on the phone today, if I can't fit them in there today, I'm getting there tomorrow, because the longer you're not the only person calling them, and the longer you wait, the more opportunity you're giving me to close them. And if I get FaceTime, I'm closing them. So don't stretch it out too far. If you're going 4 days, make it 2, because think about it. You're one of what, 60,000 realtors in New Jersey, if not more, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Florida, but
Okay, all right.
I do try to get either that afternoon or the following day or sometime that same week. But if they say, well, I can't do nothing tomorrow or the following day, but I can fit you in next Wednesday. I
Right.
mean, I'm not gonna force them to meet me before then if they're telling me they're not available.
But
Then ask them, are you, if you don't mind me asking, just so that I know what, I'm up against, or however you want to script it, are you interviewing other agents?
thank you. That's it.
And then from there, on how quickly you need to work. But always think in your mind that you're going to be one of at least 3. And you may not always want to be the first one in there, because I'm not sure what the percentages are now, but many times the last person there is the person that they list with.
Keith,
I don't want to be the last person.
can I respectfully kind of
Disagree.
disagree with you on that?
I understand what you're saying. You want to be one, so then you could actually close it right then and there, and don't give anybody the other opportunity.
Right, because typically they list with the last person because of people who went previously aren't closing when they're there. So we have to do a better job of closing at least 5 times when we're in front of a seller. And typically we don't do that, and we let them say, hey, I still have 2 or 3 interviews coming up, and we'll make a decision on Saturday. And we walk out of that house without getting paperwork signed. I made that mistake all the time. And they never call you. They just end up listing with someone else. So there's a script that says, are you keeping those other meetings because you feel obligated? Well, yeah, we have these appointments set up with these other agents, so we need to carry through with those appointments. I learned to say, well, since you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, let me take that off your plate. Once you sign the paperwork with me, I'll call those other agents and cancel those appointments. And then we can go ahead and get started and get your house on the market. And so we need to do a better job closing when we're in front of them and not letting them get to the other agents, because the way I look at it, they now know your pricing recommendation. They now know the commission you're charging. And as an example, if you are charging 6% and that last agent comes in, all they have to do is lower their commission a lot of times or offer a higher price point, and they end up buying the listing and taking away your opportunity. That's the way I look at it. But Keith, that's really good advice that you're giving, Al. And Al, I will tell you this, like Keith says, get out there sooner. You got to push to get out there so that you can create your opportunity. If it doesn't work for them, they'll tell you it doesn't work. But if you know they're interviewing other people, I'm going to try to get in before those other interviews. And I'm going to say, hey, it's really important that I meet with you first, because if you're interviewing other agents, I know that it would be beneficial to you if you had a list of questions that you could be asking to make sure you're choosing the right agent. Wouldn't that be helpful for you if you had a list of interview questions to make sure you're interviewing the right agent? And they always say yes, right? So I come to the interview with a list of questions, and of course, know the answers to the questions and make sure the questions are helping you stand out. So that way, when they interview the other agents, if it even gets to that point, you have better stats. You have all the answers to the questions, and it sets you apart from the competition. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the last one was, I mean, it was, I want to say it was like a Friday, and then we were supposed to meet Monday. So I mean, that's not that far apart.
Right.
And
So
it's still,
let's just walk through it real quick. And I'm a seller, you're the agent, and I'm going to say, hey, Al, I can't meet with you until Monday. I'm a little busy. So does that work for you?
in this case, I said, yeah, that's perfect. What time?
Okay. Now, knowing what you know and that you're missing out on opportunities, what would you say differently now? Because I don't want you waiting until Monday if you don't have to. So what would you
Right. I
say?
mean, I would say, well, I'm free today in the afternoon or even Saturday if
Yeah.
we can make it sooner.
But what's in it for me? Tell me why I would want to meet with you sooner. What's in it for me?
Um, I don't know. You got me on that.
Okay, so if I didn't have you though, and you actually knew what was in it for me and the advantages of me meeting with you earlier, what do you think they would be?
Um, I guess I would say, get the ball rolling quicker if you met with me quicker, and then you wouldn't have to wait till next week to get things started and get your property sale going the right way.
So what I hear you saying is, this is a very interesting market, and for sellers like you, we want to take an advantage of having low inventory. I don't want to hold off until Monday because I believe the buyer for your property is out there searching this weekend. And so what I want to do is give you an unfair advantage and get you on the market sooner. So if I could demonstrate to you that by not waiting and getting on the market quickly is going to put more money in your pocket because you have less competition, would it be worth meeting with me this weekend? Could you carve out 10 or 15 minutes for us to get together, maybe Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon?
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to go in because if you don't, like, listen, they're looking to hire a salesperson. They want someone who can close. Show them that you can close. Show your value, but don't make it about you. Make it about them. Show them what's in it for them.
Gotcha.
And if it's important, they'll book it. And if they don't book it and they have to keep it on Monday, it's okay for you to say, hey, Al, can you just, I know you don't know me, but can you make me a promise that you won't hire anyone else until we meet? Because I know that what I do for my clients will have a great outcome for you. And before you make a hiring decision, I like an opportunity to show you what I do to get home sold. Is that a commitment you can make to me not to make a decision until we meet?
Yeah, sounds good. Now, this person, what he did was when Monday came around,
Mm-hmm.
actually on Sunday, I reached out to him and I just want to confirm for tomorrow, 10 o'clock, and then he came back to me with, oh, I got things going on. We're gonna have to reschedule for later in the week. And
Gotcha.
then, so I gave him till like Wednesday, I think. And that's when he hit me with, oh, I found another realtor.
Got it. Got it. So,
So,
like we were just saying earlier, attempt to secure that down. If he's telling you Wednesday, I'm going to push for Monday night or Tuesday. Just continue to push to get in there sooner and ask for the commitment for them not to list with anyone until you guys have a chance to actually talk.
okay.
Fight for it, man. Fight for it. Keith and then Emily.
Al, was this an expired or for sale by owner, or what is this?
For sale by owner.
So yeah, somebody just beat you to the punch. Somebody just got there sooner.
Absolutely. That's all it is. So,
And say what David said, right? Because the most consumers are out looking for homes on the weekend, right? So
Right.
if somebody's trying to push you to Monday, say, hey, as much as I want to respect your schedule, I'm more than confident your buyer is going to be out there this weekend. So if you're able to carve out 10, 15 minutes, like David said, I think it would be in your best interest to do so. Or maybe you didn't ask enough prequal questions, like what is their motivation? How quickly do they need to sell?
Yeah, I did. I went through all that with him.
okay.
He let me know. Oh, I need to sell within the next month.
Okay.
So I did ask I thought I asked the right questions.
Well, hold on. Let me say two things. But before I say that, let me just say cameras on, people. I want to see faces. If you can turn your cameras on, turn them on. Secondly, I want to apologize because I clicked and copied the wrong Zoom link and people were trying to get in and that was completely on me. So I apologize. Pete, don't beat me up, man. I'm sorry. And Pete, kudos to you, man. I saw what you're doing, man. You're killing it in your market center. I'm proud of you, man. So keep it up. So again, my apologies. So so Al, yeah, listen, you said I think I asked all the right questions. So here's what I'm going to say to you and every person in this group. I don't ever want to hear you say I think. You need to follow a pre-qualification script, and you need to follow every question. You need to ask every question on that script and write the answers down. If you don't have a pre-qualification script, send me a message. I'll send it over to you. I'm going to put my email in the chat. I will send you the pre-qualification script. You need to go over every question. And the first question in that script is, if you feel comfortable and confident that I can actually sell your home, do you plan on listing with me when I come to your house Saturday at 11 o'clock? That's the first question. That's pulling out all of their objections and their questions they have for you. You're not going to answer it over the phone, but it's going to tell you what they expect to have covered when you get in front of them. So we always want to pre-qualify. If you don't have it, email me. I'll send it over to you. The subject of your email should just say pre-qualification questionnaire, and I'll email it to you. Emily, go ahead, please.
Well, I'm new and I've never had an appointment or actually called somebody. So I'm just not used to talking about real estate with other people. And typically, you know, you hear questions like, well, how's the market? Or, you know, the interest rates are high. I don't want to sell my house, or, you know, so I just need to have guidance as to how I guess explain the current market and why one would buy or sell in it.
Absolutely. So a couple of things about that. Number one, Emily, I know you just started the push program, so I have all the confidence in the world that pretty soon you're going to know exactly what to say and how to say it. So we will definitely cover that. But number two, the thing that I want to tell you is that a big part of our job is to be the local economist of choice, which means we should be out every single morning when we wake up, looking at the market, looking at the stats, so we know what's happening in our market. You should look at what just went on the market, what under, gosh, I can't talk this morning, what went under contract and what actually sold. You should be able to talk about that to the people. And one thing I would recommend you do, there are a lot of different things you can follow on YouTube, a lot of channels where they talk about the market and give market updates. But don't overcomplicate this right now. When you talk about not knowing how to talk to someone about real estate, here's the thing. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. And one thing I learned when I first started making calls is that I never even made it about real estate or made it about me. I called that person, that for sale by owner or that expired, to learn about them. Coming from contribution, they're really looking to understand what they were looking to accomplish. Our job as real estate agents is to be a problem solver. That's really what our job is. In order to solve the problem, we have to understand what the problem is. And so it's so important that we make calls and we ask questions like, why are you selling this house? Why is that important to you? What's that actually going to do for you when you sell the home, right? And then how's that going to make you feel when you're in that new property or in that new situation? And then what's your timeline? You could spend the whole conversation going through those questions, and you're going to pull in so much information about that seller, and you're going to understand what's important to them. And based on that, they're going to want to meet with you because you took the time to not make the call about you. Hire me. I'm the #1 agent. My office is #1 in the MLS. I can get you more money. People don't want to hear that. You know the saying, they don't care what we know until they know we care. You want to spend some time talking to them. And the one thing I want to tell you right now is that you may not know all the answers. You may not be prepared to go on the listing presentation. However, there are people in your office that do know the information and can go with you. And so for newer agents, I'm always going to tell you, don't miss out on the opportunity of making calls and creating a listing opportunity for yourself because you're not prepared to handle it yet. Partner up with someone, partner up with a mentor who will go out there with you and will show you the ropes. I'm not saying partner up with someone who's going to take over and bulldoze it and take it to the finish line and you don't learn anything. Find someone who's willing to collaborate and be a mentor and show you what to do and how to do it step by step. So the next time an opportunity comes up, you have the knowledge and you feel comfortable handling the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a great idea. Are people do you then, if something works out, then do you sort of work out a split in terms of commission, or?
Yeah, you work out a split. Usually it's 50-50. The one thing I'll say is discuss that up front. Never assume that you're getting a certain percentage. It needs to be in writing, and you need to have that worked out before you guys even approach the actual seller or the buyer. You want to have the commission worked out, but we'll discuss that and push. But yes, that's something you want to talk about up front.
Okay, and then lastly, with respect to the data, would you say that we should be looking at the MLS for all the towns in the county in which we are doing business, or just certain towns?
I would. I mean, if you're doing business in that town, not only would I look at the stats for that town, I would go out and preview every property that came on the market in that town. A good rule of thumb, and what really helped me in the beginning, I lived in Wyckoff. And so when I moved there, I didn't know anything about New Jersey. I had just moved here from Dallas. I didn't know the difference between the Cape Cod, the Split, Colonial. I didn't really know. And so I went out to every preview, and I made a point to see the low price homes, medium price, and luxury. So within Wyckoff, I knew what those homes looked like. I knew what they were listed for, and I kept track, and I saw what they actually sold for. So pretty quickly, I learned the market. I learned how to price property because I went in those properties, and I could tell you what a $700,000 house in Wyckoff looked like because I went to every single preview and I looked at the data. And so that's our job. Our job is to go out and see the inventory. We need to know every house that's on the market. And so you should be doing that. And that's going to help you build your knowledge base as a new agent. So Emily, I appreciate that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, and then Kathy.
So in regards to Al, what I normally do is, and I'm here in San Diego, is if they are pushing it out, I'll say, hey, Mr. Seller, I am going to be in the area later on today. I'd just like to pop by for about 5 minutes and give you some information about me. And that there usually opens up the door of, wow, 5 minutes. Sure. Or how I can help you. It'll just be a little bit of information prior to us meeting. And that usually then you're able to get in front of them.
Lisa, really good recommendation. Can I tell you one thing I changed in that script that really served me well? I stopped asking people for permission. Would it be okay if I stopped by? I stopped doing that, and I started telling people, hey, I'm actually just going to stop by for 5 minutes and drop off some information. I'm going to be in the area today at 6 or tomorrow at 4. What time works best? Sure. I found that people, when you tell them what you're going to do, they usually just say, okay, or they'll say that time doesn't work. How about this time? But when I'm asking for permission, it's easier for them to say, no, I'm okay. Right.
So this is the first time I'm on your Zoom. So I'm a very high ID, and very assertive. So normally I probably don't say, oh, is it okay?
Right.
But because I'm here at 5:30 in the morning, I have no problem. Could sell an Eskimo and ice cube. So it's all about how they want to see your strengths. So here, I'll open up. They want to see your strengths, that you're going to get the job done. And I'll never, ever, ever, some of the Keller Williams scripts, I've been in the industry since 2011, Vegas, Texas. And it's funny you said Texas, and here in San Diego. And I would never say, how an agent didn't get the job done. You need to ask where, when, how, and why. Yes. Why did it not happen? What do you think, what is going on? If you ask more questions and shut up, they will answer it. And then and it's also the Ford, or family, recreation,
occupation,
all of that.
Dreams.
Yeah. Is what it truly is. So now I'll shut up.
Well, listen, Lisa, I just got to say this. I think you became my favorite person on the call today because you said something I say all the time. We have to learn how to ask a question and shut up, because we keep talking and you can talk yourself out of an opportunity, or you keep talking and when the seller was going to open up and tell you the real reason they were moving and why it was so important, you're talking right over them and right out the door. And so we got to, and this is, I tell you guys all the time, I ask a question and because I know I want to talk, I do this.
That's
I
what
literally
do.
hold my
Yeah.
mouth shut so I don't keep talking. And we got to learn how to do that. So thank you for saying
Well,
that.
the other thing is that this is a really easy way to learn that.
Yes.
Is we like to hear each other talk. Everybody does it. And when you do put your mouth and you're shaking your head, they then shake their head. And all of a sudden, you know, it's mirror match. And that truly is the key.
That truly is. All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. I like you being on here. Be your true self. Speak your truth. Kathy, you're up.
Hi, good morning. A couple of
Morning.
things. Just a few things tying into what Lisa said, I think, and what you're talking about asking questions. I find that what you're training your brain to think about is, am I hearing their voice more? Or am I hearing my voice more? Because it's really important that you want your client's voice. You're asking questions so that you can hear them and actually then tie into what may be a further question to probe. So learning how to listen and then maybe dive a little deeper. It's very easy for us to also be like, oh, okay. And we walked away and we didn't really understand the full answer. So training that mental muscle to ask further and further questions, leaning into what, so you can repeat. You know, mirror and match, you know, a lot of times it's physical, but it also can be verbally where you're saying, okay, so, you know, you want to be sold in a month. Well, you know, Mr. Seller, let me stop by this afternoon. I'll drop off my pre-listing packet. And also I may have a buyer that I can bring by this weekend. So, you know, you're opening up the conversation and them thinking about possibilities. You know, the other script I've used is, let me stop by, I'll drop off my pre-listing packet. Let me take a look around. I may have some suggestions for you, you know, in getting the house ready, you know, for sale. Why lose the weekend? So there's a lot of different ways you can go it. And right now with this market, I say market of the minute. And it's interesting how people shake their heads and like, hey, yeah, you're right. This is the market of minute. So, you know, we want to make sure we position you well. And then I just wanted to say to Emily, in terms of market trends, what I found helpful when I was starting to look at the business and understand what was going, I started with my own town so that I learned and I compared myself to Bergen County as an example. So what's happening in my town compared to Bergen County? And then I branched out a little bit to the surrounding towns, because if you try to do too much, it gets overwhelming. But even if you're speaking about your own town, that becomes cocktail chatter also. You know, what's going to happen is right now, people may not be asking you real estate questions. Pretty soon, your friends, family, people in town, people in the supermarket are going to ask you, what do you think of the market? You at least being able to speak about being authentic and knowledge and strength about your own town opens up the door, you know, and this is how we're positioned compared to Bergen County. So I hope that helps you as you start, you know, trying to get a handle on kind of what's going on. And I agree with David about the previews. It's scary to think about asking to go to a preview. The agents understand, every agent who's smart does it. So go and book that time. Go on showing time. You don't have to bring a buyer. You're previewing. Go to the open houses. Introduce yourself to the other agents. You never know who you might be doing business with. Them seeing you in person and you be saying, hey, I'm just checking out the inventory. You know, they understand it. And you're building relationships, because even though there's a lot of agents, in the end of the day, this is really a small world. And there's such strength in being able to say, oh yeah, I saw that house the other day. So anyway, I hope that helps. And now I'll shut up.
Okay, that definitely helps, Kathy. Bhumika, I'm coming to you in a second, but I want to say a couple of things. Number one, we're going to do an expired script after Bhumika and Julia go. So if you want to do that expired script, put me in the chat. Secondly, when you're previewing property, here's something I did that I think could help you out tremendously. I schedule previews 2 a day. one on my way to work and one on my way home. Minimum, I would see 2 properties a day. So preview takes you 5 minutes. Just schedule it, get it done, right? That's going to help you learn the market. And then also, if someone's asking you how's the market before you answer, the qualifying question should be, are you thinking about buying or selling? Because it's a different conversation depending on what they're looking to do. So make sure you're asking that question. And then lastly, when you're on the phone, when you're at these appointments, you have to have a mindset shift. And it has to be this mindset shift you need to have is who's interviewing who. A lot of us go to meet with the seller thinking that we're being interviewed for the job when you actually should be interviewing that seller to see if you actually want to take the listing. Are they motivated? Are they coachable? Have that mindset shift. And if you're interviewing them, you're doing less talking and more listening because you're asking the questions and following a script. So you have to have that mindset shift. You're actually interviewing them. It's the other way around. So thank you for that. Bamika, go ahead and go.
Hi. So this is, I'm not sure if it's an objection or regarding an expired.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't know how to, go about it. So I had a conversation with this expired, went through the script, what happened with the property and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, is the property available for sale? He said, yes, it is. Okay, how are you selling it? I have a realtor. And then, okay, have you signed a contract with a realtor? He said, I'm about to, but I had this realtor with me when the property was on the market. So what happened with the property? Why did it not sell? And went through everything. It was under contract. There were some issues with the inspection, and then it fell through. They had a couple of offers, and he got them fixed. Now he's going back and putting it. So I asked him that, would you be open-minded to hearing a different strategy? Because every realtor works in a different way. And he said it was not his fault. It was not my realtor's fault. It was the inspection, and, things came out, and he's the realtor that sold me this property, and I'm gonna work with him. So how do you, I don't even know if it's an objection. How do you overcome that? And what do you, So
let me, I got to jump in here because I hear you saying a lot of the right things, but let me ask you a question, Bamika. Why is he selling the house?
Because he wants to cash out the money. He's like,
Okay, hold on. He wants to cash out the money. Why is that important to him?
Because he doesn't want to deal with the two family. It's a tenants and he said, I don't want to be a landlord. I want to just sell this property.
So what would it do for him if he no longer had to deal with being a landlord and he was able to cash out and take his money? What's that going to do for him?
Yeah, I didn't ask that.
Yeah, how would he feel if now he's got the money to invest or do something different, and now he doesn't have to fill phone calls and deal with crazy tenants anymore? The reason why I'm asking you these questions, Bamika, is that so many times we're trying to convince people to list with us and give us a shot, and we're not taking the time to understand what their motivation is and why they're attempting to sell this house in the first place. If it were me, I would really be digging into the frustration of being a landlord. And because I'm a landlord too, I would tell some stories and really build rapport based on the frustrations of being a landlord. And I would say to him, if you knew with 100% certainty that by listing this house with me, I could get it sold quickly and let you be done with being the landlord, and more importantly, net you top dollar. I mean, you don't owe me anything, but you really don't owe it to your other agent either. You've already given them a shot and it didn't sell. I want to show you a different way to get this property sold. And wouldn't it be worth 10 minutes for us to sit down so I can show you what I do differently so I can get you out of being a landlord? I'm going to have that conversation with them.
So I didn't ask what is it going to do for you, because he was talking, and 2 floors are empty, 1 floor is occupied. But the tenant is great, but I don't want to, I want to sell this house. My question is that it was not about the realtor not doing his job. He did the job, got the offers, it was under contract, it fell through the inspection, and now he got it fixed. And how it's, it was not about the strategy. It was about, problems occurred, which was not in our control.
Well,
So,
it depends, though. It depends. My question would be, was your agent actually at the inspection? What did he do to actually talk through with you and the other agent and the attorneys and try to solve the issue around the inspection? Because just because it had an inspection issue, it doesn't mean that the property didn't sell because of the inspection. It could have been the agent wasn't there, he wasn't doing his job, paying attention and being an advocate for the seller. There could be so many different things that happened during that situation. So if his agent wasn't there at the inspection, I'm going to talk about how I show up for every inspection for my clients, and I'm listening in and I'm actually helping with that process, because that's really our job. Half of our job is getting an offer. The other half is getting it to the closing table, and we got to be present. We have to be at the inspections. We have to meet the appraiser and give the comps. There's so many things that we need to do on the back end. And if we don't do a good job at that, sometimes the deal can go south if we're not representing our sellers like we should. And I don't know if that's the case, and neither do you, because you didn't ask. I would be asking those questions.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or am I?
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
does. It
Okay.
does.
And listen, I wouldn't give up on it either. He hasn't signed the paperwork.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him again.
I would call him back and I would focus on motivation. You know the questions to ask. I know you know the questions. And I would talk to him about the frustration of being a landlord and what it would mean to him to guarantee that this house gets sold this time. Find out what that means to him. Find out what he'll do with that money once he frees up the money from this property. And that's what I would focus on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. What's up, Diego?
What's going on? No, I was thinking of something, but I answered my own question.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to say. Who's ready? Expired listing. I believe we're going to start seeing a lot more expireds. I love expireds for a couple of reasons. Number one, they've already listed with an agent before. They know the process. They've already paid commission before, right? A lot of them have paid a lower commission and they see what that got them. So they don't have a hard time paying me what I deserve. So I love expires for that reason. I see Julia. You want to role play it?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody want to be the actual seller for her? Someone who knows what an expired says. I don't want you to volunteer to be a seller and you've never called an expired. All right, Bomika, I know you've called. So I want you to be a seller. And Julia, I want you to go in there and do the script. I may stop you and pause you and interrupt and interject. Keith, Diego, Ashley, people on here who lead gen and know exactly what to do. Pete, if you guys want to jump in and say, hey, try to say this, jump in. This is our call. We're here to help each other grow. It's not just me. So if you guys need to jump in and give some feedback and help people, jump in. All right, go ahead and get started, guys.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Hello,
Who am I role playing with, Diego?
me.
No,
Oh, I'm
Bomika.
sorry. I thought. Hi, how are you? I'm sorry. How do you say your name, Bomika?
Yes.
Bomika.
Hi, is this Bomika? Or hi, Bomika. This is Julia Gaffney from Keller Williams Prosperity. I'd like to talk to you about your listing that expired a couple of months ago. Do you have a couple of minutes?
Yeah. What about
Yes,
it?
I wanted to reach out and see what happened with your listing and why didn't it sell when it was on the market 6 months ago?
Why is that relevant?
Oh, as a realtor, I'd like to know this information so I can try and help you sell it if you're still looking to sell it, because you were at one point, and I'm wanting to see if there's something that I could do to help you. So I'd like to find out some more information about your property.
Well, I have a realtor, by the way, and if I want to relist my property, I'm going back to my realtor.
Okay, was this was the agent that helped you list it the last time?
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'm just trying to figure out what happened the last time that it didn't sell. I want to see if there's any way that I could help you.
We had offers. I mean, in the attorney review, the buyer, they backed out, and then it was also under contract, and then something happened with the inspection. The buyers, they backed out again, but we're talking about it, and I'm going to probably relist with them again.
Okay, well, I would love to be able to show you how I could help you a different approach of selling real estate and getting homes listed. And I'd love to stop by. Okay, stop. I
Yes.
would love to.
Thank you. Hold on.
I'm gonna be in the neighborhood today, later on this afternoon. I want to stop by and just check out your house. I know it's Thursday, and when you put your home on the market on the weekend, this is when people are really looking. There's buyers are out there. I'd love to be able to get in there and just get some eyes on it and see it. No, are you shaking your head, David?
So I just have to jump in here really quickly.
Okay.
And
Okay.
somebody
I am
tell me
u-
why I'm jumping in. What is happening that should not be happening right now?
You didn't ask me why I'm
It's
selling.
He's
all-
not asking questions.
Yes, you're not asking
And you're
questions.
I know.
about
You know what?
You're making
She's
it about
good.
you.
Yeah, okay, yes, you're
Well,
right.
so,
And
so let me say this real quickly, and I got to
Okay.
start from the beginning.
okay,
You're calling expireds. Don't say what company you work for.
Yeah.
okay,
Here's why. If they were
Okay.
previously listed with your company, they may just shut you down in the beginning.
okay,
So just say
Okay.
I'm a local real estate agent in the beginning. Don't say your company name. Number two, why is she selling the house? Like, what is she looking to accomplish? You went from asking why the home didn't sell to let me show you what I can do. I really know for a fact that you'll have more opportunities to meet with her in person if you slow down and take some time to say, why were you selling?
He made me nervous.
It's okay. This is where you get nervous, but I want you to get nervous here because
Yeah,
then you won't be
yeah.
nervous when you're talking to an actual seller, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we practice now so we don't practice on our paycheck. So
Yep.
what you have to do is, number one, have a script in front of you. Don't skip any of the questions. And the first question should be, why are you selling? Why is that important? What
Right.
will it do for you? How will you feel? You need to understand her motivation, because if it's really strong, I'm going to say, well, you know, Bhumika, and don't take this the wrong way, but a good friend of mine told me the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a different result. I know you've already been listed with that agent before, but man, based on what you're telling me, you really need to be in California, really no later than February. How would you feel if you put this house back on the market and 6 months later, you're still in New Jersey? I'm going to talk about that and then show you there's a way to get it sold, and I can help you with it, but I'm only going to do that when I understand what your motivation is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I would tell
It
you,
does.
don't rush into it. Don't rush into the close. Ask the questions. She's looking
Yeah.
to relist with the same agent. The buyers backed out. Why were they backing out? Did the agent vet those buyers? Did they make sure that they were qualified? Like, I'm asking questions and planting some seeds of doubt so that I can jump in and show my value and talk about what I do when we receive an offer. If it has a pre-approval, I don't just accept that. I call the lender. How did you pre-approve them? Right? I'm having those conversations to make sure if I accept an offer that not only will they not back out, but they actually are qualified for the home they're looking to buy. So motivation is what I want you to focus on, Julia. If you focus
Motivation,
on
yeah.
that, those 5 questions, I promise you it will open up more opportunities for you.
And you know what I do when you guys were talking before? I'll ask a question and I don't shut my mouth. I'll freaking answer the question for them. Because I get jammed up when somebody pushes back. Because that doesn't always happen all the time, but when somebody pushes back, that's where like I get like jammed up, and then I just like my nerves jump in, and so yeah, I totally.
Everybody has the same issue, including myself. And I am not joking when I tell you, if you're on enough calls with me, you will literally see me doing this. I'm literally keeping my mouth shut because I want to speak. I get what you're saying. Since you know you have that issue, you got to find something that you can do to stay quiet.
When I met you, you did that to me.
It
I
works.
walked away. I'm like, he just closed his mouth shut. Well, you did it.
I have to. And listen, I
know,
have
yeah.
I have a wife and 2 daughters. I'm learning this even more. Let me just shut my mouth.
Thank you for that, and I will definitely work on that.
Okay. Diego, you want to give it a shot as a listing agent? Give it an expired shot? Pete, can you be the seller?
Sure.
All right, let's show them how it's done. Let's go.
I'm itching over here. Let's go.
Oh, Pete Kopech, what's up, bro?
What's up, brother?
Ring, ring.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Pete.
Hi. Yeah.
Hello,
Who's this?
Pete. Oh, hey, Pete. This is Diego Colorado. I'm actually a local realtor, and I was just calling about the property that recently expired. I'm sure you're getting lots of phone calls by agents. I totally understand. And just out of curiosity, have you totally given up on selling it?
Yeah, man, listen, it didn't work out. I appreciate the call, but yeah, we're probably just gonna stay where we are.
Sure, I totally understand, Pete. And just curious, Pete, had you had sold that house when it was previously on the market, what was your plan? Where were you guys looking to move to?
Well, we're gonna retire to Arizona, but we're probably just gonna wait till next year. I mean, these interest rates are crazy, so we're just gonna wait till things kind of calm down a little bit, and we'll just give it a shot next year.
Sure. And I totally understand, and I can appreciate that. Wow, Arizona. Do you have a like a specific city in mind in Arizona?
Yeah, we're probably gonna move out to Goodyear. But listen, we're probably gonna hire somebody else. We know who we're gonna hire. We're probably just gonna hire with the same agent. So I appreciate you calling. But yeah, we'll probably be on the market next year.
You'll probably be on the market next year. Okay, sounds good, Pete. And just out of curiosity, Pete, once you move down to Arizona, what would that actually do for you? What takes you to Arizona?
Well, we got some family out there, and it's just cheaper. It's warmer. We're tired of these winters. It's just, we're older now. It's just time to go. So,
Sure. I totally understand. I'm tired of the winters myself. I'm from a warmer climate originally, and just out of curiosity, once you actually get this property sold, Pete, and you're down in Arizona, you don't have to shovel snow, and you're actually in a nice warm weather, closer to family. What does that actually do for you, Pete?
oh, I mean, well, like you said, you don't have to shovel the snow, but I mean, we're just going to be able to enjoy life a little bit better. They got a nice pool there. We're going to be able to just kind of hang out, do some hiking in some of the mountains and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we're going to be doing that next year. The holidays and everything coming up. We're just gonna wait till next year. So, listen, I appreciate you calling.
Sure, absolutely, Pete. And before we hang up, Pete, just out of curiosity, what's really important to you about waiting until next year?
Well, I mean, I just said, right? It's the holidays. We got interest rates up. Like it's just not the time. The market's crazy. We're just gonna wait till put it off till next year. So.
I absolutely understand. And look, I've been getting that from a lot of people, right? And I'm just curious, when you say the market's crazy, what do you mean by that?
Well, I just, these interest rates now are at 8%, and I mean, is there anybody even out there buying right now? I mean, it's just we were on the market for 6 months. We can't do this again. We're tired. We need a break. The holidays are coming. We're just gonna get through that. Like my wife wants to decorate. We don't want to have to wait for all this stuff, taking in and out, people coming and going. So, that's really we're just gonna wait till next year.
Got it. And look, I could definitely appreciate you wanting to wait until next year. And just curious, would it surprise you to know that homes are still actually selling with multiple offers, over asking? We just had an open house last weekend that got over 200 people in 2 days of open houses. Would that surprise you?
200 people.
200 people.
Hello. Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty crazy. I am
Yeah.
a little surprised to hear that
Can
actually.
you hear me?
Yeah. Yep, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, as a matter of fact, most homes are still selling for over asking and lots of showings. There's still a lot of buyers out there actually. And the good news is interest rates just dropped to 7.5 from 8%.
Okay.
So Pete, really quick, if I could show you a way where I could get your property sold. And I know you guys want to decorate and you want to take advantage of the holiday season and maybe you want to enjoy the last winter up here, right? But if I could show you a way how we could get your property sold, and we've actually sold homes virtually, right? So we could get the least amount of people in there that are actually well qualified buyers. We're not going to get any looky-loos in there just going in to see the house just to look, right? Actual qualified buyers. And we could work a time schedule on hours that would work for you and your family, right? And only buyers are able to see that house during those blocked out times. And the good news is next year, we don't know what the market is going to be at next year. We know where it's at now. So would it interest you if I could show you how we could do that now? Sell your house for top dollar and get you to Arizona after the holiday season.
So you're saying you could get my home sold for the most money and my wife could still decorate and we could get to Arizona before the end of this year?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Let's do this, Pete. I'm going to be in the area today around 5 o'clock. So I'll come by. We should have a quick conversation, right? And look, if everything makes sense to you and your wife, great. We can start working. And, if it makes sense to you and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your house and get you to Arizona before the end of the year and you guys can still enjoy the holidays here, we'll get your property sold. So I'll see you at 5 o'clock today, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you stop by for a few minutes. I mean, I'm not signing anything today. I'm not sure about this, but let's see what you have to say, and we can take it one step at a time from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, that totally makes sense. And look, no strings attached, right? We'll just have a quick conversation with you and your wife. Just out of curiosity, will she be available at 5 o'clock as well?
Yeah, she gets home around like 5:15, 5:30. So she should be there, probably right as we're finishing up.
Okay, got it. I totally understand. So let's do this. Since I will be in the area, I actually have a showing at 4:30. I'll go in after my showing. I'll grab some coffee, maybe just a little cookie or something to eat. As a matter of fact, I'll bring you guys some coffee. What's your favorite coffee?
No, we're good, man. We appreciate that, but we're good.
Okay, sounds good. So while I do all of that, then I'll be at your house at around 5:30. That way we can all just have a conversation and we can all be on the same understanding.
All right, yeah, that works.
All
Okay,
right.
sounds good, Pete. So I'll see you today at around 5:30.
Sounds good, Diego. I'll see you then.
All right, Pete, stay unmuted. Diego, good job
All right,
there.
sounds
There
good.
was a
Oh,
bit
wait,
of a
before we
delay
hang
on
up,
your side. There was a delay going on, but you guys were able to work it out. One piece of advice, Diego, you say curious a lot. I think on this role play, you said curious, I think 9 times. Just curious, just curious. We find a different word. Like it's okay to say it a couple times, but when you listen back to this, you'll see what I mean. I wanted to try something with Pete really quickly, and I wanted to take it back because I was thinking as you guys were talking, how would I handle this? I like the way you handled it, Diego, and yet we have to have different ways to handle the same situation, right? That's why we go through script practice. So, Pete, I wanted to take you back to retiring to Arizona, right? And you said you're moving to Goodyear, which I know, being around family, warmer climate. So, Pete, man, I hear all that, and that's got to be really frustrating that because your home didn't sell, you're going through another Jersey winter, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you watched the Farmer's Almanac. It's supposed to be a brutal one this year, man.
I
But
know.
yeah. So it's not what we wanted, but it just didn't work out. So
Yeah.
looks like we're here.
Well, you mentioned that you're going to wait until next year when interest rates go down. Pete, it's interesting. A lot of people we talk to feel the exact same way. So what do you think is going to happen when interest rates go down and all these buyers hit the market at the same time? How do you think that's going to affect price?
I mean, I would think if a bunch of buyers are coming in because of lower rates, it's going to drive up home values, wouldn't it?
It absolutely will. You're absolutely correct. So, Pete, here's what I want you to think about. And I'm not here to force you into selling your house right now if that doesn't make sense. However, I want you to think about this. If you wait until next year, you're going to end up spending more money on that home in Goodyear, and you're putting off a year of being around your family and being in a warmer climate. So if you knew there was a way to get your home sold today for top dollar, get to Arizona, start enjoying that beautiful weather, spending time with your family. And then next year, when interest rates go down, you just refinance, right? And that way you don't have all the competition. So what I want to do is actually come by and talk to you and your wife about a plan that we get your home sold now. And more importantly, what you were talking about with your wife, decorating the house for the holidays. Homes that are decorated tend to sell faster. So it's actually a good time to have your house on the market. And there's a way that we can do things where you're not going to have people in and out of your house during the holidays. We can work on that. I want to sit down with you and give you your options. Whatever you decide, I'm okay with. I just want to give you the information so you can make the best financial decision for you and your family. So I have today at 5 or Saturday at 11 o'clock. What time would you and your wife both be available for me to come out?
Yeah, today at 5 would work.
Okay, perfect. I'll see you then.
Love it.
So
Love it. And, you know, one other thing I would just throw in there, I've heard, you know, in terms of like waiting, right? Not waiting through the holidays is, you know, you could say, well, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you know, that actually what concerns me about you waiting to the holidays is actually, you know, I've spoken to 6 people this week or 5 people today or 20 people this month, whatever that number is.
Yep.
And what concerns me is they're all waiting for the spring as well. So we know that rates going up could bring up home values. But what do you think is going to happen if everybody who's waiting for home values to sell or waiting for interest rates to drop in order to sell, you know, they're all going to be putting their home on the market at the same time. So do you see how that could actually work against you to wait until the spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, it floods the market.
Love that, man. I love the way you handle that. Really quickly, Tracy
I just thought about something too.
Go ahead.
And that goes with asking questions. So I assumed that he's buying another house in Arizona. I didn't even ask if they own another house or if they're going to go rent over there or what it is. So I think I assumed that he's buying another house.
I assumed too. Good point. You're right. I didn't ask that either. So excellent point. We can assume. And Crystal's saying, should we be making the statement that we can get a home sold by a certain time frame? I think we can. I can promise the seller that I can sell your home today. It's all about how we price it. So yeah, we can actually guarantee I can get your home sold in a week. It's all about pricing. So I don't have any problem with that. But listen, I'm working on ending calls when they're supposed to be ended because you guys are giving me your time. You have other things on your calendar. I have a call scheduled with Crystal at 9:30, so I need to make sure I'm available for that call. I hope today was helpful. Like I wanted to start off in the beginning, having a conversation and getting your mind in the right place. And you guys saw some examples. What I hope you picked up on are following a script, keeping your mouth shut, asking questions, digging deeper, and not assuming, like Diego just said, don't assume that you understand why they're making the move. I made a mistake and assumed that somebody was downsizing because they were trying to save money, and they were really just downsizing because they couldn't go up the stairs anymore due to health issues, and they needed a one-level living. So I'm making all these arguments on why they should meet with me about saving money, and I missed the boat. We can't assume. We need to understand, and we gain that understanding by asking questions. So I hope that made sense. We'll do a lot more script play and mindset reset, as Orly says all the time, and get you guys on the phone and get you to, get your unfair share. I appreciate you guys being here this morning. But again, I want to make sure I'm being respectful and letting you guys off the call at 9:30 so you can get on the phones and make some calls and get your money. So you guys go get after it. Have a good weekend. Thank you for being here. And I hope you found today valuable. Mojo Dollar, Pete's about to get on the phone and make it happen. That's what I'm talking about, Pete. And if you guys follow Pete, he's making it happen. He was on that board. I think it was top 5 in the office making it happen. So the thing I will tell you about Pete, thing I will tell you about most of the agents that I know, Mr. Diego, I just saw his post. He's up on the capper wall. That's not by accident. That's because he's intentional in getting up and doing the right things and doing this job, which is to get on the phone and make calls and have conversations and do follow-up and go see property and negotiate deals. He's doing the work. We can all do it. And I'm going to leave you with this one thing that Coach Pipe said this week at the Claim Your Best Year. He pointed out that the average agent last year made $44,000. He also pointed out,
not me.
Hear me. That's right, Pete. Hear me on this. The average full-time employee at McDonald's makes $42,000. Think about that. if you're doing your job, you're mastering the scripts, you're taking advantage of calls like this, and you know what to say and how to say it, 6 figures minimum. If you're working this like a full-time job. And we got to put the work in. You put the reps in, you will get paid.
Let's
Trust me
go.
on that.
Let's
go. Pete is fired
Let's
up. Go get
go.
after it, man. Go get
I'm
after
muted.
it.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna let you guys go. Crystal, I'll call you in a second. You guys have a good rest of your day. Get after it. Diego, P, everybody who volunteered and spoke up. Gigi, it's good to see you this week. Good to see you on the call. And I will talk to you guys soon. Be good.